It's a folding bike. It's a fat bike. It's a cargo bike with a heavy-duty rear rack. It's every one of those things at once. This is the Vakole Y20 Pro. And today I'm gonna review it. So let me tell you more about it. And of course, welcome to Correct Way. First up, huge thanks to BuyBestGear.com. This is where I got this bike from. They sent me the bike for testing and also for me to keep. With that said, I've put around 180 kilometers on the clock on this bike, and I'll make sure to tell you about all of the pros and the cons of the Vakole Y20 Pro. If you want to get a bike like this, feel free to use my affiliate link. It's posted in the pinned comment. I do get a little bit of a kickback from those orders. And there's also a coupon code CORRECTWAY3 where you get 3% off. So this is not so much, but I guess you'll get a couple of coffees for that. And you support the channel by using those links and those coupons. All right, let's get into the overview. All right, so I feel like the Vakole Y20 Pro was created with features in mind. They had a blank sheet of paper and they were just crossing off every next feature that you want to have in a bike. Okay, let's make a bike, but let's make it folding. And it folds here and here. And then also let's give it a big battery, which is also removable. That has 960 watt hours. And then they were like, no, this is still not enough. Let's also make it a step-through bike so it's easy to get on it. And while we're at it, let's give it also fat bike tires. Let's give it a sort of motorcycle style rim that doesn't need any adjustments. It's just sort of there. You don't need to adjust the spokes. But then this was still not enough. They added hydraulic brakes, they added pedals with pretty decent studs, and they added a rear rack which supposedly can handle up to 50 kilograms. And that is possible, I tried it, but it also comes with an asterisk, which I'll talk about later. And still, this was not enough for them. They also added front shocks, they added a suspension seat with suspension here and suspension here. It's actually really a saddle, a huge fat saddle. Of course, we have gears, we have lighting in the front and in the back, a horn, and turn signals, which are barely usable. But what I wanted to say here, they wanted to tick a lot of the boxes. And then the question becomes whether it is good at all of those things or it is just good at certain things. And that's what I'll cover in this video. So probably you're the most interested in the drivetrain. So let's talk about the battery, which is, as said, removable, and the motor. This battery is a 960 watt hour unit. It's 48 volt, 20 amp hours, but it also comes with a bigger variant, a 30 amp hour variant, but this is not the one that I have currently. This is 20 amp hours. I got this bike with pedal assist up to 83 kilometers of range GPS, and this is quite spectacular for me because the manufacturer was actually stating that the range is between 80 kilometers and then 110. So yes, they were right. They weren't lying about it. Now on the range test, I noticed that I was going maybe a little bit slower GPS than the 25 kilometers an hour that the bike was showing me. So the lower speed might have benefited the range of this bike. Well, this is as it is. This is as I got the bike from the box. So yeah, just to let you know. I gotta say, this bike is so freaking comfortable, even though it's just a hardtail. Going over those gravelly bits, a little bit of a, off-road path is super, super comfy. And that is something I do really appreciate about this bike. So with pedal assist, I got up to 85 even kilometers because I could go about 2-3 kilometers more on pedal assist modes 1 through 4. But yeah, you can go 80 kilometers around the city. This is, plenty. I feel like the geometry is really nice too. The bike isn't like twitchy. It's more of a sort of cruiser comfortable setup. So going into turns, you have a lot of comfort, a lot of predictability. It's not sort of destined to be a fun bike. It's just a thing to get you around. You don't need to worry about the handlebar really all that much. And if you would want to go further, I would highly suggest getting either a different bike or an additional battery, because the charger for this thing, although it's very small, is very slow. 10 hours to charge this thing from 0 to 100% with this XLR port, which we find here.
D-power. Something I have too. Oh man. Yeah, it's 2 amps, super slow.
Another nice thing about the battery is that there's a battery indicator here. So even if you just get the battery out from the bike and you charge it at home, you can check the battery level. Pretty sweet. You have to have the key inside though to check the battery level. Without the key, it doesn't work. The battery does have simple safety systems, but it doesn't come with a smart BMS. Now I'm very used to that with EUCs, and there I can check what the state of the cells is. If there's something wrong with the battery, I know what. This doesn't have that, but you know, I wish in the future all personal electric vehicles, small e-bikes, e-scooters, everything has a smart BMS, because I think it's very much needed for safety and your mind's well-being. The motor is 250 watts of power. It's pedal assist, and you know, this power was just plenty for me. I didn't ever, you know, need more power for going around the city, even some mild off-roading, but it doesn't have a torque sensor. So for, you know, starting the bike, you need to use a little bit of force, but then it keeps going. And for the 80 kilometers that I did on this bike, was plenty of power. It's almost like, you know, you walk far. You don't really get any handicap from strong wind, going uphill, etc., etc. All right, so let me show you a little bit how the pedal assist looks like. We're in mode 5, quarter turn, and boom, we're going. And we're accelerating fast. I was just using this bike in mode 5 because in modes 1 through 4, it also limits you the top speed. So I could have maybe a little bit more exercise, but I don't want to go slower. So yeah, that's why I kept just using it in mode 5. That's the mode I did the range test on as well. So especially when accelerating, the pedal assist works really well, but it is not really like as smooth to ride on this bike as it could be. For example, when I go up to 25 kilometers an hour, like now the pedal assist turns off, and now I will be slowing down to maybe 22, 23 kilometers an hour, and then it kicks in again. So now I feel the pedal assist kicking in again, we go faster, and then we go slower. So it's really not like it gradually goes to 25 kilometers an hour and keeps that speed. It's kind of tough to do that. Really, you have to do like stops with pedaling in order to do that. Maybe there's some other technique. And even on gear 7, there was like even worse. So here, I feel like I can't really keep the top speed of 25 kilometers an hour all the time, because it keeps turning off with the pedal assist, then turns on again. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, but you know, something to keep in mind. E-bike with a torque sensor, or maybe a little bit of a more sophisticated software, could be a bit nicer to ride. While we are here, I will also show you the gears. Here, it works well. Now it's clicking. If I push a bit more, okay, we have the next gear. And yeah, they need a little bit of adjustment, maybe a bit more sort of precise actuation of the gear selector here. But yeah, I didn't have any sort of major issues with this gear set. Usually it's the best with going up a gear. There it does that really dependently. But going down, sometimes it's like now, it clicks. Need to adjust a little bit, and there we go. With all that said, riding in a city is very smooth, and I rarely need to change the gears to accelerate. So even when going down to, you know, slower speeds, like here we need to go to cross the street, thank you. It kicks in with the pedal assist pretty quickly, as you see now. And yeah, I can just go off. Really the only time where I need to switch gears to get off easier, quicker off the line is if I go really slow, like under 10 kilometers an hour. There I would switch a gear to the lighter gear, or starting uphill. Really, starting uphill is the only issue. We will have a hill there in a second, so I'll show you what it's like. Handles those bumps really, really nicely. Those gravel bits, gravel roads. It's best to keep the bike straight, like not to wobble it around. Another thing with the PAS, I feel like if there's a lot of bumps, it doesn't really know what to do. Sometimes it slows down by itself. Yeah, the pedal assist is not the most sophisticated here, but hey, it works. So here, if we go uphill, I go down to like very slow speeds. Oh, I can't really even start the bike. Maybe a little bit, let's try. Oh, okay, now we go up. Well, it's really tough, so then I would just change gear. In this case, even into the highest gear. We go from a standstill, boom. And then it's fairly easy to even wheelie up this hill. Okay, let's see how it fares here with the incline. Pretty much a wall. Should be fine though. Oh my god, no, it doesn't have the torque. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Ooh. Oh, I'm alright. Just didn't expect that. It's the first time I fell downstairs. And I wasn't even trying anything with the stairs. Alright, so there lays the bike. How steep is that? That's just 28 degrees. I mean, they were saying 30 degrees this thing can climb. I think I just went in there too sure. But I'll try again with a bit more oomph in my legs. And hopefully not falling down the stairs backwards. Alright, so once again, we are in gear 5. I mean, in gear 1 and level 5. I need to just change the gears going. A bit more shenanigans, huh? Ooh, come on! Oh man. No, 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 no. Hoppa! No. It would be pretty much all legs. It would be very little percent bike. So, nah man. 30 degrees on this bike? No, definitely not. I guess like 20, maybe 25. Where do I get like small inclines like that? I'm a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. Especially that I fell down those stairs. And I got many stairs. Oh, and right away, I bent the second key. Look at that, it's really not the best place for this key. All right, so here we have a 23 incline. I'm stressed, but let's do it. Okay. Whoop. I need to still aim better with this bike. I need to get the handlebar down, perhaps. Okay, so full throttle. First gear. Oh yeah, much better now. So with 23, yeah, not the biggest issue to whoop, go up an incline, but I still needed to use quite a bit of muscle power. So I guess 15 to 20 is like a comfortable grade. Everything above that, maybe either a lot of workout or not possible at all. Vakole also gives you an option of a half twist throttle here. I'm certain that it's good for starting with this e-bike because the pedal assist just engages after like a quarter turn. So this is what it might be useful for, but you have to keep in mind that then the bike becomes not legal, at least in EU territory. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go from top to bottom of the bike, front to back, and I'll tell you about the features. All right, so let's start with the handlebar. It's on a little bit of a riser, it's very comfortable, and in general the distance from the handlebar to the seat is very short, so it is very much a comfortable city setup. It's not designed for, you know, speed or going off-road. A nice thing about it is also that you can change the height of it. So if you're shorter, you can have it down low. If you're taller, you can have it up higher. Let's get the handlebar up again. Oh my god, that was a bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. When it comes to the brakes, we have, I don't know if they're semi-hydraulic or fully hydraulic. I guess they're actually fully hydraulic. I gotta say, the brakes are really, really nice, but they are the other way around. So we have the rear brake in the left one, left lever, and the front brake in the right one. So motorcycle style, really nice though. Like super nice stopping power. It's very easy to stop with this bike, and the brakes are quite powerful indeed. Here we have a Shimano, I guess, gear set, that's what you call it. We have 7 gears, 1 through 7. I usually ride it as it is now at 6. This is where the pedal assist works best, and this is also where I don't need so much power to start riding with this bike. Moving on, here we have the screen. In broad daylight, it's maybe not super well visible. I need to turn it on. Oh wait, I need to turn on the bike too. But it's still very much visible. You can see the most important parameters like the speed, the gear, or the pedal assist that you're in, 1 through 5. So for example, with this ramp here, I'm not really sure if I want to ride it up yet. I'll just press on 0, press minus, and the bike does the work for me. Has fair amount of torque. I don't really need to push it. I just hold the button and it does the work for me. Will really, really love this feature in e-bikes. And then let's go back up, back into 5. And yeah, let's go. And you know, the total odometer, you can also see that, for example, when you press the brake, there's a error code or a general code that you are pressing on the brake. I guess some more information is here as well. Very nice screen. However, the only thing I don't like so much about it is the battery indicator. It's teeny tiny, barely visible, and there's 5 bars. I wish it would be a bit more precise, although going from full battery to empty battery, it goes down pretty consistently. So once you see 2 bars or 1 bar, you still have plenty of range left. You need to keep in mind though that if you have just 1 bar of battery left, this goes from like 20-ish% battery to 0. So you never actually see 0% battery on the bike. Just something to keep in mind. You have the buttons here to change the pedal assist strength, and you also turn on and off the bike using the button here. Small complaint here, for my thumb it's still okay to reach those buttons, but if you have smaller hands it might be a bit inconvenient. So you might want to swap the brake lever with the screen here or some other way. Out of factory it's it's pretty far. Moving on to the left here, we have another instrument cluster. It's nice, it's also silver like the one on the right. And here we have the on and off switch for the lights. And we also have the turn signal switch. No audible signal here on this, no beeps. And a small horn. Let me show you the front light. It's down here. It's very plasticky, not the highest quality, but this bike is just 1,200 euros. So, don't expect too much from it. We have a double lens setup. It's not the brightest light. It does show you the way a little bit in the night, but it's nothing to write home about. You can also, of course, adjust the angle of it. When it comes to the rear light, I do like it a lot. It's very visible, and it also has a brake light. However, the turn signals, not really that visible. I mean, they're sort of orange-ish, but I don't think anyone will think this is a turn signal when you're driving. So make sure you actually stick out your hand when you're trying to, change direction on a bike. Really nice light though. The cable routing is not perhaps the cleanest. Oh, here we have, by the way, the connector for the twist throttle. But a little bit of the cables do go inside of the frame, and then they go down the bottom. So in the front there's a lot of party there, even though there's some sort of cable ties there that hold everything together. But yeah, once it goes in, it's pretty neat. The front rack is something that I really appreciate on this bike. Most of the time I just put my backpack here, but you can put whatever you want. I don't know what the weight rating of it is, but it looks very sturdy, and it has 2 screws here that are holding it, and the third one I put on myself because it wasn't in the box. Small detail, but it's fine. And I also really like that the rack is mounted on the frame and not on the steering column, because this would make the bike a lot more wobbly than it already is. So I use this front rack a lot. Just shove your backpack in there and enjoy life. Really one of my favorite features of this bike. And while we're here, I can also show you how it folds. So if you really want to make it small-ish, as small as a cargo bike. I mean, it's pretty short, but it's cargo, it's fat bike, like, it never will be so small as a actual folding bike with smaller tires can be. So small lever, and we can fold this down, and then we pull on this, and then we can actually fold it to quite a smaller size thing, but it's still a huge blob. I can take out the seat. With that said, if you want to put this into a car trunk, into a van, of course this will be a lot more comfortable to do than with a non-folding bike. But with about, I guess, 40 kilograms of weight, like I wouldn't call it like a good travel solution. It just has the option if you want to go adventuring somewhere out of the city every once in a while. I would definitely not want to lift this bike up every once in a while to just put it into a car. It's always very graceful to unfold those bikes. What did I do wrong? What did I do to you? Okay, that's fine. But with that said, pretty sturdy on the front, but in general, when it comes to this frame, it's a bit wibbly wobbly. It's a bit of a wibbly wobbly bike, and especially from side to side, it moves around a little bit. So on the front, if I press on the brake, you can see that the front fork moves about quite a bit. And I tighten it down, like it's not like I loosen the screw or something. It just doesn't feel like as sturdy as it could be. And the next point here with the folding mechanism, you can see here, actually you can come up close here, Taju. You can see that there's like additional ridges here to make this a little bit more sturdy. But even with that said, this thing just moves about a little bit. And especially if there's stuff on the rear rack or someone else on the rear seat, this bike just becomes, well, let me show you this way. I don't know if it will be visible on camera, but let's try our best here. It just becomes like, it's almost like a happy dog. So yeah, it's a folding bike. It's a step-through bike with a pipe on the bottom, which is not too wide. It didn't like cause any major issues for me, but who knows how it will be after 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 kilometers. So I guess this happens if you want to do too many features in one bike. So it's usable, but I need to show you as it is. This bike comes with front suspension, and it's even adjustable. So you can lock it out with the lever here, and you can adjust the stiffness. For me, it was always extremely comfortable to ride with the bike, and especially with those fat bike tires. This thing is just a couch. This thing is just super, super comfortable to ride on. One thing that is also important about the bike, I should have told about it earlier, is that you need to actually assemble it once you get it. So it was a little bit more work than I'm used to with e-bikes, because you need to put on the front tire and you also need to put on the front caliper. But there's always arrows both on the caliper and, for example, on the pedals, so you know what to do. But I would at least give myself like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour to assemble this bike once you get it. It did arrive in one piece without any scratches, so this is pretty cool though. There was also some more things in the box. There was a toolkit, there was a smartphone holder, which I didn't like at all. It wasn't like squishing my phone well. There's also the twist throttle, and that's it. I think that's it. When it comes to the wheels here and tires, the tires are very comfortable, they're wide. It's a fat bike, so it feels like a couch, and riding on whatever terrain will be always comfortable. It does make a noise though, so whatever you prefer for yourself, it just makes like a always when you're riding around. Oh, my bones, my bones. Why do I have nerve endings in my bones? I don't want to have nerve endings, man. I prefer quietness, but this will also do. We also, as said, don't have any spokes here. I mean, we have spokes, just it's like a car-like rim here, so no maintenance required, but it is heavier. This will definitely deplete a little bit of your range. But even at first gear, without any battery, without any motor power, I can ride this bike fairly comfortably, so it's not too bad. I also like the mudguards here, made out of metal, and the same thing here in the back. The saddle is huge. It's absolutely ginormous, but a bit short. She did say that. So it's a bit short here. I found that this is okay for even longer trips. I did the 80-kilometer range test on it with 2 breaks in between, but it could be better. I don't know, maybe it's so soft that I feel like the springs here poking on for the inside. I don't really know. And definitely the front is a bit too short, but I wouldn't say that it requires like immediate changing. It's still pretty comfortable on the bike, so not too bad. And we also, as said, have suspended seat here, a suspended seat with a seat post, but the seat also moves about a little bit on those springs. And I don't know if that's intentional or it's a bug. Is it a bug? Is it a feature? Who knows? The seat, of course, is also adjustable, goes down pretty low and also pretty high. And of course, you can adjust the seat by unscrewing those screws here, this one and this one. So you can adjust both how much front or back it is, and how it tilts. And as said before, folds up to remove the battery. The battery also comes with a key, and you need to just watch out in order not to break it. I bent one by accident, so maybe something to change in a future model. But yeah, you just twist it to turn it on, and then you can push it and twist it in order to remove the battery. I would say here is one weak point of the bike. So up close you can see here there's no rubber anywhere. The only holes are here on the side, which are not for draining, I believe. They're just maybe structural or something, or to make it cheaper. Here we have the prongs just sticking out. The metal is down on the bottom. I mean, yeah, it's not really the best design for waterproofing, isn't it? Because here on the battery, they don't have anything on the bottom either. It is a pretty tight seal, I believe. But yeah, they could have definitely done that better. I wouldn't be so sure about riding this thing in the rain without any precautions. Always a bit tricky. And then on the bottom you can see that this plastic. I mean, it's at least nice that the wall goes like over and then the water should over the top here, but again, I would much prefer some rubber pieces there instead of just plastic. The rear rack on this bike is huge, and it's rated up to 50 kilograms. The tubes here are even like too wide for my usual bike cargo bags in the back. So it is really huge, and it's a selling point of the bike. But as said earlier, I wouldn't just really use it for such heavy cargo because the frame just doesn't handle it all that well. So for what it is, I guess if you don't need a rear rack, I would just unscrew it. It's just a couple screws, and this would improve the overall, I guess, handling of the bike. The kickstand is also really sturdy, and it sounds like a weapon. Does it hit the... No, it doesn't. Like... All right, so throughout the past week that I spent with the Vakole Y20 Pro, I've come to notice that it has a lot of features and it wants to do a lot of things. And at the same time, does it do them spectacularly well? Well, it does them sort of. Like, I was riding with my girlfriend on the rear rack for 2-3 kilometers and it worked. I went to Serock, which is outside of Warsaw, a nature preserve, and I went up and down hills. And it worked. It was fine. It was fun with, you know, changing the gears, and having the pedal assist really helped me to get through the mountains and also go against strong headwind. It has a lot of range. It has the front rack, which I absolutely love, but it is of course very heavy. I don't really like the fact that it's a bit wibbly wobbly. I got used to it, but this is definitely, I would say, a con about this bike. But at the same time, I still have my analog Marin bike, which is, you know, for about €1,000, and this is for €1,200. And, you know, I was just using that because, you know, when I go somewhere, I can do it with my Marin bike, which is totally analog. I would just arrive very tired or possibly sweaty. And with this bike, I arrived there, I have a little bit of exercise, so it's not like, you know, riding a motorcycle. You have a little bit of exercise, but not too much so that it becomes a burden for you. So yeah, with that said, I would say not too bad, not too shabby, lots of features, and quite an interesting experience if I say so myself. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Oh. I don't want that. Be a woman. Be strong. Ah, it hurts some. Oh, my bones. My bones.